So content marketing and personal branding has gotten a lot of traction and buzz over the last little bit. So today I really wanted to dive into, especially in the B2B space for founders, SaaS companies, tech companies, and any B2B companies, about a little bit behind the scenes, my perspective, what's going on in the industry, because I've been in the B2B space for better half of a decade now, and we've seen some really monumental shifts, especially in this space. So that's why I want to dive into it today. And I'm here with Meredith. I'm Matt Salesio from Hyve. We help B2B teams scale with AI content as well as onboarding and ops systems. So today I'm going to pass it over to Meredith. We're going to dive into the topic at hand, and I'm just going to let her lead the conversation and let's have a raw conversation about it.
All right, Matt. Hi.
Hey.
Nice. How are you doing?
Really good. You?
I'm good. It's a nice day outside today.
Good thing we're inside recording, huh? Come on.
All right, so let's take it back to when you were first producing content. What was your day-to-day life back then? Was it chaotic? Were you just stressed out all the time? Give me a little bit.
Yeah, back then I was working at my own wellness tech startup. It was called the Revive Academy, and we were really predominantly producing video programs from gut health, mindset, anxiety, all that good stuff. And to market it, we started with a lot of cold outreach. A lot of B2B founders will understand, you just set up an instant lead campaign, scale it, try to scale outbound as much as you can, but it really wasn't working to the degree we wanted. So that's when I go, we got to look at some other avenues. And then that's when we started getting into content. So I started a podcast, kind of like this, just to get the word out there, have some organic conversations and get content out there. And then also I started doing a lot of Instagram reels. I went right to Instagram. I didn't do any research. I was just let's do this podcast and let's do some content and see what happens. And it was overwhelming. A lot of my buddies will attest to the fact all I was doing was recording. I felt like I had to document every aspect of my life. And it was like producing content with no structure. It was just sporadic, chaotic content that I hoped would bring in leads in the way that, let's say, my cold outreach campaign did or didn't. So from day to day, it was a lot of guesswork. It was a lot of frustration, and it was also confusing because everybody's like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And every founder gets the shiny object syndrome where you go, let me document my morning routine, or when I'm running, let me pull up and then do an Instagram reel. But it doesn't drive pipeline. It doesn't create trust and all that good jazz. So it was chaotic, it was messy, and it brought in no pipeline. So it was very frustrating, and we ended up actually shutting that company down after the better part of 5 years. So chaotic and messy, I'll give it that.
Why'd you go right to Instagram instead of TikTok or Facebook, YouTube, anything like that?
It was all I knew. It was all I knew. Because I was selling to B2B predominantly, I was going after big companies where they had employee wellness programs or benefits, so I could get my foot in the door that way. B2B just had more money. I didn't take in where does my ICP live? I just went right to Instagram because that's all I knew. I got Instagram, I'll just rock and roll with this. But I didn't even know LinkedIn or X or YouTube, how that could drive pipeline, because that's where that audience lives. If I'm selling B2B, I'm not going to TikTok. I'm not doing it. No, because they're not using that. They're using LinkedIn or X or YouTube because it's designed as search engines or more of a professional content. So that's why I went to Instagram. Was it the right choice? Maybe not the best, but I still think Instagram is important now. So I wouldn't totally leave it. I would just put my marbles in other social channels first.
Yeah, and it's hard to figure out if you want to do lifestyle content, if that's gonna give you a return, or straight educational content. It's trial and error.
It can be, for sure.
Yeah.
But if you know your audience and if you know who you're trying to target and what they like hearing or what they're searching for, that's the starting point to make a good content strategy. Because I missed that part at the beginning. And a lot of founders do miss that part too. They're just let me just make content and go from there without answering those objections or those limiting beliefs or where do they hang out, or just understanding who you're talking to and where they live. That's the first little bit there.
Did you seek out other people doing that type of content you wanted to do and sort of copying their framework, or did you want to be I'm doing my own thing and just let's see how this works?
It was a lot of whatever was on Instagram. I was let me just replicate.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about personal branding too. And if you want a GTM content strategy that's unique and solid to your brand, don't copy everybody else. It's good to understand what's working out there. But the fact that you're going to go ahead and just say, hey, they're doing this, we're going to do that. Or they're doing that, let's do that too. That dilutes your personal brand and your content, because now you're just like everybody else. You're just making noise and you're not making impact. That's the way I look at it.
I like that.
Right?
Very smart.
Thank you.
All right. So was there a moment where it hit you, where you're filming every day, you're constantly just trying to do your best with this business and filming and everything, were you like on the floor at 2 a.m. like, I cannot do this anymore? Was there like a moment that hit you like that?
Yeah, every 5 days, I would say.
Really?
I was pretty frequent. Every founder, I know it. You got your Slack blowing up, you got prospects on the line, you got sales strategies, and there's just so much to do as a founder alone. And then to be a content creator on top of that, it's like, where do you fit in the time?
Yeah.
Like, you know this, how many times do we want to have lunch together, or I just want to sit and take a break? Like, you can't do that. Like, there's not even time to breathe in the day. So even back to Revive, my early days before it failed, there was times where I'd be at 2 a.m, I'd be on the floor of my room looking up at the ceiling going, what am I doing with my life? Like, what am I doing? And that's when it hit me. Some things needed to change. I needed to be more strategic. I needed to be more sustainable in the way that I produced content or I marketed for my business. So yeah, I'm no stranger to those nights on the floor. Oh yeah.
I remember you telling me about that. You were just like literally on the floor, like, what am I doing? This is not working. And a lot of time people say that, especially with content. They're like, it's free work. You don't necessarily see the return right away. But over time you build a pipeline and trust, like you always say. And then if you do it correctly, it'll work out for you.
That's a solid point.
Yeah.
A solid point.
Okay, so like most people assume that you really love to do content because you're a creative agency founder. Did you ever feel resentful toward it? Like we were saying, like you're on the floor. What am I doing with my life? Was there a moment where you're like, I used to really love filming myself. I used to really love talking to the camera and like building trust with my audience. Was there a moment where you're like, I hate this?
Yeah, when it starts taking away time from the other things you want to do with your business, whether that be scaling or whether it even just be personal, to go do your own thing and like longboard. I like to longboard. Sometimes I feel I can't do that because I have to record tomorrow. Oh, I got to produce X amount of content. I found content became very unsustainable for me when I didn't know how to leverage or repurpose. So I was always starting from scratch every single time. I wouldn't script. I wouldn't strategize like an actual month of content. I would just literally every day grind it out in post. And I remember sometimes even going before I would get into the office, I would be editing my Instagram reel for the day. That's how I would start my day. I would be eating my oatmeal. I remember it was specifically in my condo in Toronto. My buddy would just be waking up, stepping into his power hour, and I'm editing some stupid Instagram reel that would get like 500 views. So that's when I really started to hate content, and I actually started to even resent my business a little bit because the thing I created for freedom started taking it from me.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, for this GTM content engine that we just made, I always had the motto, like, before the GTM content engine worked for other founders, it had to work for me.
Yeah.
So I found ways to say, all right, if we create, let's say, 4 proper assets for the month, and that's why I picked YouTube, because you can create, let's say, 5 to 8 minute videos, and then from there, now I can repurpose. So that's my North Star content piece. And to make the rest of the GTM content sustainable and also unified to that same message, I now take that transcript and we can plug it into AI, which we leverage heavily. Now you got blog content. Great. Now you have like even like a month worth of blog content because you can redistribute it or repurpose it X amount of ways. You can also cut that up into short form. And then you can post multi-platform, so LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, as well as Instagram. So from that, now instead of working on all these different little micro assets, I use AI and that North Star content piece to just trickle down the pipeline. And then that's when content's actually enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now I like it. So yeah, you don't have to feel so trapped by it. So that's why the GTM content engine, like I'm an advocate for it for myself because I use it myself as well as for other clients.
You have to have a system in place.
Have to. There's no other way.
In anything in life, but especially content creation. Because that's just like a small portion of your business, but it really can have a big ROI if you use the systems that you put in place to like make it work for you and not you constantly every single day, like you're saying, editing and posting and spending all the time that you should be focusing on clients or things like that, like online trying to like see how many reels you posted or how many views you got or things like that.
Yeah, and it's actually a great point you say that too, because I hear a lot of founders say, we don't have time for content marketing or marketing is just a nice to have. I always say that's not the case. You need 3 engines in business to actually scale: sales, systems, and marketing. Because if you're doing outbound, fantastic. But if they come and look at your accounts or they look at your website or they're trying to check you out online after you just gave them a cold call and they don't see nothing about you, chances are, unless that was a wicked cold call, you got some wicked case studies, they're not reaching back out.
Right.
So marketing is a huge part to build that trust to help leverage your outbound or leverage that sales. So when they do come in, they see blogs, they see videos, they see the founder face to face, like on screen. And that's what truly makes a difference. So I don't think it's a nice to have. I think it's an essential.
It is 100%. So when you say like there's so many founders that are still in the content wheel, why do you think that is?
Founders are on the content hamster wheel because they get shiny object syndrome. I'm guilty of it myself. You open up your Instagram feed, you open up your LinkedIn feed. Everybody's got a different strategy. They got a different way of doing things. And before you can sustain something for like, let's say 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you're already on to the next. So you don't know if you just needed an extra 30 days to perfect that system or to build that repertoire for people to start attracting themselves to your brand. So I think a lot of founders, they keep starting from zero.
Yeah.
And they think they're doing the right thing because that's what everybody else is doing. So I was to say not do that or to not be on the content hamster wheel. Find one avenue that you think your ICP will really bring some ROI from or you can deliver some real value. In my case, it was YouTube. Stick to that for like 6 months.
Yeah.
It's like SEO. Content marketing is a lot like SEO. People think like, okay, I'm going to write some blog posts and now boom, my lead pipeline is full.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. This is a long-term game. So when you're going to pick some avenues for content marketing to get off that hamster wheel, stick with it. Take 3, 6, 12 months even, and then you can adjust and get some real data to understand what's working and what's not.
And especially like when you go on Instagram and you go to somebody that you like that has you can tell that they have a system in place with all their content, you're automatically drawn to them more. And I feel like that's what you're doing with GTM content is like, it's all cohesive. You see the cohesion on your Instagram, on the blogs, on their website. It's all one, and like that builds trust for your clients and then their customers, right?
Yeah, and I'll even add to that too. I like that you said cohesion because a lot of founders or let's say marketing people who are working on B2B teams or tech teams, SaaS teams. If you look at their Instagram, it looks half-assed. Yeah, it's scattered. They got the shiny object syndrome. You're like, I don't really know because your content is a reflection of the value you provide to your clients. So if you're scattered, if it's cheap, if it's half-assed, people are going to assume their service is probably like that. But when you say cohesive and everything looks professional, it's polished, polished and unified, that's a direct reflection of how you're going to do business with that person. And that might actually tip them in the favor of you versus a competitor.
It kind of goes with everything in life. You kind of have to have little organization in everything that you do because like a brain that's just scattered it reflects in everything else that you do.
It does.
So I like that you said, like, especially with your content, it's necessary because founders, they can be scattered. Like they got a lot of things going on.
They do.
But they need sometimes somebody else to come in and be like, hey, I got to do this for you. I can organize this for you. All you need is 2 hours a month or an hour a month, and I will do the rest. And your Instagram, your feed, your blogs, website, perfectly organized.
Hey, a helping hand never hurts, right?
Yeah, right? Okay, so I only got a few more questions here. So for the founder listening who's overwhelmed by content right now, because most people are, I would say, what's the first thing that they really need to stop doing?
Solid question. Simplify. That's the first thing you got to do is simplify. People reach overwhelm or burnout when they're stretched too thin. Yeah. So if you're trying to do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you don't have all your energy directed into a medium to provide an ROI. So I'll give you a good example. I used to back then do the Instagram, I would do the podcast, I would try and do the YouTube, but it was all inconsistent because I'm starting from scratch each time and I'm overcomplicating the whole process. So to get off of that, pick one medium, like we were talking about this earlier, pick one medium, pick your content pillars, and then go around that and then keep feeding that one avenue. And content pillars, this is a great example that a lot of founders miss too. I miss this as well, is we just sporadically post content. Yeah. And you think, all right, it's going to come in. But when I started understanding what are the actual pillars that I want to provide value in, that's when content became so much easier. So for us, I tailored my content pillars to the services that I provide and where I have my expertise. So content marketing, SEO and AI SEO, as well as business operations and personal branding. Those are my 4 content pillars. So every time I'm starting from scratch, I would just see if I had an idea, where does it fall under what pillar? Yeah. Then you trickle it down and then feed it into that one avenue. So you're not scattered, you're actually organized, you're segmented, and then you find your drivers to go ahead and bring in that inbound. So that's what I would do.
And as a founder yourself, going through these years of putting in all the reps and those 3 a.m. nights where you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing? You realize these 4 pillars are what you really need. And not just you, but other business owners really need to stay organized and keep their business in check and successful. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yeah. You got to corral everything and stop bleeding it out the sides, keep it all together and move forward, yeah.
And that's what the GTM content engine does.
It is. It's like it's very omnipresent, and it's very you're pretty much everywhere. I know I'm saying just fill one pipeline, but that's the beauty of when you pick that North Star piece like YouTube, and then we use a lot of AI in our team to help repurpose accordingly. So you, the founder, is coming in to feed that one outlet, but then our team will allow you to just be everywhere because we take it, we repurpose it, we use our AI to rewrite it, script it, blah, blah, blah. But that's why it's important to have those pillars and then do the trickle down effect. Yeah. And that's where it becomes sustainable.
Yeah. And you found that it works for you. Your mental load is way less probably, right? Because you're like, okay, I have these systems in place. I only filmed once a month for an hour or two. And I'm like, good for the rest of the month. I can go on that trip I wanted to go on, or I can go see my family or my friends and not have to be so frustrated that, oh my God, I can't stay late with my friends because I got to go film tomorrow. Like that really has helped your mental load probably, right?
Yeah, I find so much peace. Like we're filming this beginning of September right now. All of October for me is done.
Yeah.
Our YouTube, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, it's all scheduled out and ready to go. So I can literally step away from the business knowing that I'm getting all the ads and the promotions and the content is going out there. And then with the automations we just set up to bring in actual inbound. So for me to go at the beginning of, August?
Yeah.
I sat down for 2 hours. I did 4 YouTube videos. I put the raw files into my team and the rest was handled. Do you know like the mental bandwidth you save?
Yeah.
No, it's actually so nice. So that's why I tell all my founder buddies, like, you guys got to get on this, man. You're working way harder than you need to, especially when AI coming in and automations. You need to be smart about it. You need to leverage it and you need to build it into your business. So that's how we do a little bit of both with content and AI and the entire GTM marketing system.
And even when because a lot of your friends are also entrepreneurs and business owners, when you mention this to them, they probably said the same thing, like, oh my God, I need this. What do you mean that this hasn't been done already, you know? So I feel like this is going to be huge for a lot of CEOs, small or large, so that they can sort of just relax a little bit and focus on what they do best, whether that's sales, whether that's face-to-face with their customers, like whatever it is, they can take this small part, not so small part, and just let it be. And then they can go focus on the rest. I think that's like probably the main thing you wanted, right? Especially as a business owner yourself.
Yeah, just more time and freedom and not be so like popcorn brain, like bouncing around. I will tack onto it though, especially with a lot of like my founder friends saying, oh, I use AI in my content all the time. The thing with AI now and people saying, hey, I can use it for my content is they're just taking whatever GPT or Claude puts out and they're like, great, let's feed it into the internet. The problem with that though is you're now outsourcing your entire